Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be chasing basin crappies, and as you can see right now, we're walking on water. No, it's actually, this monsoon year has just been so stinking crazy. It's been definitely a tough year to have good, consistent, fishable ice, at least here in my neck of the woods here in central Minnesota. And also, I apologize if you guys are hearing some wind noise. It is really stinking windy out, but as you can see, like, there is water all over the stinking ice, but there's still plenty of ice. And you know, I don't know what's gonna happen. There's a big storm coming through tonight, and maybe some of these lakes are gonna be in tough shape. Some of them might be in decent shape because we're gonna beat down some of that snow and then have some cold temperatures behind it to solidify the ice a little bit. But I am gonna see if I can find some basin crappies for you. Whoa. We definitely got something going on here. Although, with that being said, it's not exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for kind of like a dozen crappies. So I'm gonna drill around a little bit, put this into forward mode, scan and see if I can find a better school of crappies to sit down on. So I'm gonna drill around a little bit, put this into forward mode, scan and see if I can find a better school of crappies to sit down on. Go. That was a really soft bite. All right, so this is a really deep water situation right now. We're fishing in 40 feet of water, and this thing is running around like crazy. You can see him swimming around on the Mega Live, which is pretty cool. But let's see, I'll be interested to see the size of this fish because this lake has been known to kick out some better crappies. And how's that? That's not a bad way to start things out. That's a real nice crappie right there. Well, if the rest of this school is anything like this beauty, I think we're gonna have a really fun evening out here. They definitely were not super snappy. It took a few different times looking, but finally got that one to go. Deep water situations like this, you definitely have to be keeping the fish that you catch. If I try to release that fish, it's gonna end up on the bottom of the ice. That's just how it goes when you're fishing in ultra deep situations like this. How gorgeous is that? Just figured I'd take a quick little break from the crappie catching to show you just how insane it looks out here. But it also looks like the crappies are starting to move back in here, so I'm going to get my line back in the water. Whoa, that one absolutely crushed it. Sorry, I had to hook that out of frame there for a second. That's a good one though. I'm even gonna loosen my drag a little bit. I love these big crappies, and it's fun. You can see the school is just moving around, and oh, you can see it down underneath the ice with all this water on the ice. It kind of cleared off the snow, and there we go. Another nice crappie. This one is maybe just a little bit shorter than the last one, but still a beautiful fish. Honestly, if you're just talking eater size crappies, like, I'm not putting these last two fish on the wall, but I am definitely putting them in the frying pan. This is a perfect eater size fish. So back in the pile with the other ones. And luckily it looks like this time our school of crappies did not disappear on us. So I'm gonna get down to them in a hurry here. So what I normally do with these fish is I'll set the bait just a little bit above the school and see which ones are the most active and willing to come up. But after you play with those fish for a little bit and don't get a bite, what I like to do sometimes is just drop right down into the school, and that one came in and just bent the whole rod over. So let's see if we can get another one here. Competition is just massive when it comes to these crappies. You know, if there's one of them and it just gets a chance to look at your bait and determine whether or not it wants to bite it, then you're not going to have as good of a chance of getting it to bite. But if there's a few of them, then one of those crappies in that group is going to decide that they don't want to miss out on a meal, and they're not going to let their buddy have it. So yeah, they come in and take a bite. So competition can be pretty massive when you're chasing pretty much any species of fish, but especially crappies. So as Brian Brosdahl would say, these crappies are giving me the middle fin right now. So right now I'm using like a big giant plus size tungsten jig, little tungsten fly, and this is like one of my favorite baits for crappies. But I think what I'm gonna do is actually downsize a little bit, because these fish are so finicky. You know, you might think like, oh, you're already using a tungsten jig, like you're really gonna downsize more. Yes, I'm gonna downsize more. We'll see how it works. If it doesn't make a difference, then I don't know, maybe we'll try something different. But for now, that's the strategy. All right, so we just changed things up. Crappies are still there, thankfully. And we just went to a smaller version of what we were already running. And you also notice that this one happens to be just all pure white, like a white glow color. And so I think profile and action matter as well. But when you're sitting on top of fish like this and they're really just kind of staring at you and not doing a lot, it's just a matter of trying different things out. Sometimes those fish just have different preferences. And now they're all like flying up here. Ooh, that was actually a bite. So maybe it's a color thing. Maybe it's a size thing. I guess I won't know. The problem if you change two things at one time is you don't exactly know what made the difference, but that fish came up instantly and drilled it. There we go. Really very soft bites. Another decent eater size fish right there. Kind of a carbon copy of that last fish that we caught. So, seems like the color change made a difference. Going from the bigger fly that was just a little bit bigger but also orange and chartreuse to something that's just plain white. I have a waxworm in this case. I had a waxworm before as well, but sometimes it's tiny little changes that can make all the difference. I'll get right back down. Let's see if we can get another one really quick. I'm not usually a bucket sitter. I'm not a big fan of buckets, but I don't necessarily want to be kneeling in a giant puddle of water. Two really soft bites and then one that was just an absolute steamrolling tank of a strike. There we go. It's still not hot and heavy, like they're not destroying the bait. If I make a few more bait changes, that might change. But I also hate retying, especially with 2-pound tests. That is one of the biggest downsides of using really light line, is it is a pain in the butt to change. And that is a really nice crappie. Look at that. That is a toad right there. Man, I don't know if this is the biggest one, but it's pretty close to that first one. What a beautiful fish. That is awesome. Well, your back's about to hurt too, because you just pulled landscaping duty. Go. That one didn't take long. It's also possible as we get closer to sunset here that these fish are going to be even more active, and this could just be automatic potentially. But at this rate, we are going to have our limit well before that happens. So another beautiful eater-sized fish right there. You can even see its eyeballs kind of popping out. I'll see if I can get that on camera. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that's a surefire sign that these fish are not gonna release. Barotrauma is gonna be a little bit too much of an issue and too much pressure coming up. So I don't mind. That just means they're going in the frying pan, so. Well, it looks like the glorious streak of the crappies setting up camp right underneath my hole is coming to a sad, sad end. So basically I have two options here, and I gotta pick one of them. Option number one is just sit and wait. Option number two is go and chase them down. And usually option number two is the better bet. But the only problem with option number two right now is the fact that the ice is not extremely thick. It's definitely safe, but it's fairly thin and there's no snow on it. Now they are in deep water, but I can tell you from early on when I was drilling holes that, you know, basically like I found this school and I saw that they were 40 feet that way. I drilled a hole and then I went back and looked at the electronics and they were gone. So I guess what I'm getting at is just purely based on the current conditions, these fish are going to be a little bit spooky if I'm going to be basically hole hopping and running around and drilling more holes. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up camp here. I'm going to scan around a little bit and see if any of them are underneath any of the holes that I've already drilled. But if not, I think I'm going to wait for them to cycle back through. There we go. Well, about 30 seconds after I told you that the fish left, one ended up sneaking up on me and grabbing me right there while I was standing up. So that probably didn't make for the best, whoa. This one actually could be a really nice fish potentially. Definitely fighting way harder than any of the other ones so far. Oh, that is a giant. I can see him under the ice right now. Get that head around. Oh, that's a hog. That is a beast. Man, I don't know if I brought a measuring device with me, but this is an enormous crappie. Huge, beautiful fish. Oh my word. Definitely the biggest one we've caught so far. And man, gorgeous, super chunky too. Awesome. Well, cool. We got 4 more to fill out a limit. We got one really nice one, which is cool. Ideally, I'd love to release bigger fish like that, but when you're fishing in deep water like this, that's just kind of one of the unfortunate facts. Hopefully this spot doesn't get beat up too much this winter with houses and whatnot. But there's definitely no one out here right now. The only people that have been out on this spot that I can see is my buddy Brett McComas. You guys probably know him. We actually went out fishing and caught some of these crappies in fall, which is really cool. It's not very often that you have one of those find the fish in fall and catch them in the winter. I don't know how many people have made a video on that, and we're kind of making a video on that right now. Maybe I can steal some footage from Brett's video. But yeah, this is a perfect example of how you can actually find fish during the open water period and catch them during the winter time. It saves you a lot of extra work. Seems like they're getting more and more active as it gets darker and darker. Hopefully the lighting is decent. I've been thinking about busting out the light, but let me drop down quick and get one of these to snap really quick, just on back-to-back drops like this. There we go. This feels like it could be another nice one potentially. This is just 2-pound test, so I definitely don't want to horse the fish. I have my drag fairly loose. But let's see what we got for size. It should be coming up. That's a pretty nice fish. Oh yeah, that is another nice one. Another hog. Awesome. This is just a good eater size fish. Good eater. There we go. I'm gonna bust out the light. It seems like it's getting a little bit dark. Only a few fish left before we need to call it a night, unfortunately. But I'm gonna get the light out so we can have some good low light footage here. So as you can see, we got the light, but those crappies left. So I'm gonna go find them right now, and let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need 3 more fish to call it a limit here. We're gonna go see if we can go track them down quick. All right, they're not here. One. Nope. Oh, there's a few. That looks much better. All right. Let's get the rod out of the rod holder here. And split grips can be really comfortable. One thing I don't like about split grips is that it's a little difficult to get them in and out of rod holders. So that's why I tend to go full cork. I think this might be the only split grip I still have in my arsenal, but that's just my 2 cents on rod choice. Kind of unrelated, but kind of a bugger when it won't come out of the rod holder. Takes forever to get 30, 40 feet down to these fish. But totally worth it, obviously. Wow, they're coming in fast. Look at this. Shoot. All right, we gotta keep looking. I looked all over and I went to go pick up this light and I got it all hooked up, and 5 minutes later, or however long it took me to get that all done, the fish were gone. So they weren't underneath my hole. I just looked around and got at least 20 holes and did the whole side scanning thing looking for them. And I think it's just one of those deals where that bite window is over. So yeah, it's unfortunate we didn't fill out the limit, but these crappies are so nice. They're just good size eaters. I would say I don't need to take 10 of them home anyway. So right now is looking way more like late ice than it is early ice, which kind of worries me. I mean, it's definitely going to damage some of the ice that we already have, but we're also going to get some cold temperatures here coming up in kind of this mid-December range. So that's definitely going to help too. But what a crazy monsoon year that we've had this year with all this warm weather. Really crappy year for ice, and I'm gonna be heading to Devil's Lake here pretty soon, and they don't have a ton of ice yet, but I do know that they're making a ton. So depending on when you're watching this video, you know, we got this big cold front coming up, and they're probably gonna be making good ice there. But Lake of the Woods, they just started fishing in Lake of the Woods maybe like a week ago, and Mille Lacs recently froze over, which was great. We've snuck out to Mille Lacs a few times. But all in all, it seems like the best ice has been north of the border, where I, you know, haven't gone in this series. We're probably right around halfway through this 30-day ice series, first ice series. So I want to thank all you who've been here since the beginning, and all the new folks as well that have just hopped in now. But I'm going to wrap this video up right here, and I will see you tomorrow.